Welcome to another interesting edition of Eyes on the Streets. My name is Sinafi Omanga. As part of our campaign against sexual and gender-based violence, we'll be finding out from people their thoughts about gender-based violence. Is it right for a man to hit a woman? And what are other gender-based violence issues in our society? Let's hit the streets as we find out.
For me, the first thing is to ensure that she's safe. And so is to find out if she's in a safe space, and if she's not, is to get her to somewhere safe.
I think the first thing I'll possibly do is report to the police because they're the law enforcement in Nigeria. So I'll definitely report to the police first of all, and I'll find a way to take my daughter or my sister out of that situation so that the person doesn't have access to them. And what we have to talk about is now their mental health, because definitely that would impact them. We've first of all go to the hospital, check on them physically, and then we'll probably refer them to a therapist, someone that could help them through the process.
I will actually take action. Not taking the law, not taking the law into my hands, but actually I will act. Whether to meet him in person, do some little investigation about it. It's something that I will condemn him and warn him to avoid that. Otherwise, I will take action on him. Despite the fact that you are married to that lady, or maybe she's your daughter, actually you don't do such thing. Otherwise, action can be taken on that person.
First of all, at that scene, I'll move her from the environment first and make her calm. Then after, yes, she has to be calm, because talking with someone that have been abused, she need a calm environment first to absorb all of that. Then after which, I need to know what the problem is. Then after which, we'll take her to the hospital first, because it has to do with her health. Then move to the police. The police has to come in. But I have to ask her what the problem is first. What was the trigger before taking to police? Then after which, we can now see a therapy. Yes, a therapist. Sorry.
It's very unacceptable in the first place. Because myself, I will not imagine myself doing that. I understand. And so, if it happens, I'll follow everything up to ensure that the husband is actually brought to book. In this thing, the law has to take its course.
No, it's not really. I'll just advise. But if it continues, I'll ask her to leave, because it's not a do or die affair.
Well, the first thing is to always take the abused out of the environment in which they've been abused first, and then ensure they are calm. After which, you proceed to the hospital depending on the degree of the abuse, so that you can have evidence on ground, where you can now proceed to the police station, because going straight to the police station without evidence is as good as nothing, not reporting a case. So you need an evidence on ground. So it's just following the due process and ensuring that this person is okay, ensuring that this person feels motivated to go on with life, because abuse of any kind is usually really difficult, and I can only imagine what it does to people who go through abuse.
Cannot control, which are natural, such as anger. In a situation where someone is provoked and hit you out of anger, I think it should be different from when somebody is maltreating you because he feels you don't have anything to do. They understand what I said. When somebody hits you and when he's angered, it's because the anger can come anytime, and it depends on how you react to it. There are certain things that can push you, and there are people that can react very fast. Even though I'm not trying to defend that, whatsoever you need to defend it. But if you hit my daughter, my sister, and maybe I come to discover that maybe she pushed you too much, the anger or my reaction may be different from when I know you are maltreating my daughter or any of my sister or relative or anybody at all, because you feel you are a man and then you maltreat her.
Definitely not. It's not right, because they're infringing on their fundamental human right, and I think a lot of times people don't understand the impact that actually has on the person's self-esteem. So it's definitely wrong for someone to hit another person.
There's no justification. I think the first thing you have to know that everyone is a human being first. So no man or woman have the right to hit another person.
To me, based on my own opinion, it's not really good for a man to raise up his hand and beat a woman no matter what. For a man to raise up his hand and beat a woman, meaning you are irresponsible. That's the act of irresponsibility for a man to raise, no matter what. A man shouldn't raise up his hand and beat a woman.
It is never right for a man to hit a woman. I believe women are just people as men, and it means that you can have a conversation. You don't always have to be violent to settle an issue, so you can communicate properly without having to use your hands.
Yeah, so I've heard many silly reasons. People try to come up with reasons and they say, oh, the man slapped the woman because she did this, or she insulted his mother, or she did this or that. And I'm like, I think that before you get married or before you're in a relationship, there's always that mutual agreement of respect and something. So if there's a breach of that, I think that you can use your words to communicate and not just batter the next person, because you're not in grade 6, so why are you fighting? But I feel like if I have a brother who is abusing somebody, I will talk to him first, because we're family, I have to talk to him first. I will keep advocating, oh, why are you doing this? But when I see that, because I know that there's a risk of that person dying and him actually serving a longer jail time, I think that's the point where he needs to be reported to the authorities. Because if he won't hear it from me, probably he will hear it from the police or somebody else who has more authority over him.
I grew up to know that beating a woman is an abuse, and I don't think I will be able to do that, and I will condemn any man that does such.
We are back from the street, and there you have it. Nobody has a right to abuse another. Say no to sexual and gender-based violence. We are all human. And do not forget to report any case of sexual and gender-based violence. This is the International Center for Investigative Reporting, the ICIR, lending its voice against sexual and gender-based violence. See you again next week.